Star Wars: The Revenge of the Empire. Luke Skywalker and his friends were already in a secret base when, after the Star Destroyer, the Death Star, was destroyed, and Darth Vader seeks to destroy them, but first he must find them. So he sent droids everywhere to any place that he could, in search of them. Now, Luke Skywalker and Leia, and of course Han Solo, was staying at a secret base somewhere in the dark side of the moon of some large planet so that they would not be seen. But once droids were sent there, Luke Skywalker wanted to go to see, but in the way there, he was riding a sort of animal, alien horse, you could even say, but was knocked over by a monster, a snow monster, which kind of looked like a Bigfoot. Now, he was closed off in a cave, but before he had done all that, he had told Solo that he was going for a look at some place else, going to look for something, and then, well, he got captured. He used a part of his force to actually go and levitate his lightsaber, cutting off the rope that had um, um, bind him to a rock, and then escaped to kill the snow monster. But it was already very late, and in the night, much like the moon and some deserts on the earth, it gets very, very cold. And what he does is that he had kind of lost his consciousness. But I would say that he could use his lightsaber to keep warm, because I would think that his lightsaber is powerful enough, and it could be actually kept at a temperature which he could control to keep his body warm. But that didn't happen. And on the other side, Han Solo decided to go with Chewbacca to destroy the droid of some sort once they had found it. But after its destruction, they already knew that Darth Vader knew that they were there. So they prepared for escape. But escaping wasn't all that easy. Anyhow, after destroying the droid, Han Solo decided to come out to find Luke Skywalker, his friend. But without any luck, they first expected Skywalker to come out sometime soon, but after a while, Han Solo got worried, so he came out to find him himself. He finally found him after walking miles with his dragon horse, sort of thing. And after they found him, he didn't have much life force, or just the force in him. It's just that he is too cold. So they decided to cut up his horse and put Luke Skywalker in there. So cutting up a horse, I don't think that if the horse doesn't generate the heat for himself, that it would last long. But they apparently did that, and that was a pretty good idea. Maybe it is. Maybe that the fur of an animal is good enough to keep the heat inside and wait for the morning. And they did that, and everyone came home safely. But they have to prepare for ascension to some other secret base that they're going to construct, because this place just isn't going to last long. They had a few cruisers which held the people of the resistance, and they planned to send them off first while combating the Darth Vader, combating the Empire. And now there is this music, the of the Empire. I forgot actually the what of the Empire, but the music goes something like this: dun 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 dun, and sounds very much like the music of what an empire would own. And I would give this 10, because the music really works. Now, after a while, Darth Vader sent some people, sent actually these large machines, which sort of looks like kangaroos, but without the arms. They're all robots, send them down. They're pretty big, and they're trying to destroy the energy source of the resistance, and the energy source is located somewhere on the ground base. But they knew where it is, but they would have to penetrate the fields, so they couldn't send any actual beams there to destroy it. And Luke Skywalker at this time, he was already there and hearing voices. You know, after he was called out, he decided to have a dream, and in the dream, there was Obi-Wan Kenobi telling him to go to some planet. I forgot the planet's name. Let's just call it. No, I won't call it the wrong name. But to find Yoda, a Jedi Master who will train you to complete your training. And yes, Luke Skywalker didn't really hear him and decided to actually fight the Emperor instead. And fighting the Walkers wasn't a very easy task. They had lost many good fighters, and their only strategy, well, not their only, but one of their only strategies was actually just using rope, long rope, of course, and then to combine it to strengthen it around the legs so that the walker would lose his balance and fall down. It wasn't a bad strategy. I would give it that, but it wasn't a good one. And finally, the fighters did destroy the power source, while Luke Skywalker just sort of, well, gone. 爸，帮忙倒点水。嗯。Luke Skywalker decided to take the leave for the planet of Yoda to start his training again. While everyone else, including Han Solo, Chewbacca, BB-8 comes afterwards. I'm saying R2-D2, then there's C3PO, is stranded on the planet, but they actually just took the Millennium Falcon out for a spin and escaped to some other place. But their escape wasn't really good that timely because the Empire was after them, and because the Millennium Falcon was broken, and the light speed warper or warp speed. But in order to go into light speed, they have to do something else. So they decided to just go for an asteroid field, because they planned to make it through it with the Millennium Falcon. The Empire took a little bit of damage, but to their big Star Destroyers fleets, it wasn't really that embarrassing. They started to go in and lie in low on in a cave, but they soon found out that there wasn't a cave, it was a living creature who was just about to eat them whole. It lives inside gigantic asteroids, and in the asteroids, it lives. Once they have escaped this, they still had to find some sort of way to still do this whole thing. So they started to find have a high-speed chasing race with the Emperor. But then they finally just got close enough to the ship that the radar won't detect it, and they got really just thrown off with all the space trash, which the Emperor thought was space trash, but it wasn't. And they finally got able to go to a planet where Han Solo had a friend, and the friend was sort of the commander in office. They greeted Leia and the rest, and went in they had a nice little party, but everyone thought something was wrong, and it was wrong. 3PO was sort of, well, broken apart, but Chewbacca rescued him, and then Darth Vader was expecting every one of them. Han Solo got frozen, and Leia and the rest, actually the friend that they called, was actually buddy enough to help them save Han Solo, but without success. But at the other end of the universe, there was, of course, a Skywalker arriving, but then he found the little green, wanky man right there, which looks like an alien and looks like a scavenger, but he wasn't. So what happened? He asked for Yoda, and he knows that, he says, I have seen Yoda before, and finally he finds out that he was being impatient, and the man before him is actually Yoda. So they commenced the training, but once that he had actually felt the Force calling out to him, and felt that his friends might, will die, he decided to take his leave. But Yoda and Obi-Wan said, if now you go there, Darth Vader will kill you or something, and your friends will die. Just those old things. But he still decided to go and help his friends, and he had his chance, actually, because in this very, very important crisis, he went there and battled Vader, but Vader would actually say, hey, look, I'm your father, okay? And it was true. Vader was his father, and asks him to join the dark side, and he lost the fight, with losing one hand. After which he replaced, and Leia and the rest rescued him. He replaced his hand with a robo hand, which wasn't as cool as his previous hand, but you know, it's a robo hand, so it would be good. And they had set out for, rescuing Han Solo, because Han Solo is a really important member of their team, and he is now frozen and will die if nothing was to be done about it. Okay.